Trump, Zelensky getting it on at the White House, talking about bombs and whatnot. Zelensky's here, and while he's here, they're getting bombed after. Trump is talking to the pooter, and while he's on the phone, he's pushing a button, firing stuff off. That's his jam. So we'll see. At this point, give him the weapons. Give it to him. Give it to him. Meet him in 2 weeks. Say we gave him the weapons. We'd like to take him back. We're going to see you in 2 weeks. If you don't want that, then you know what? We'll just see how our stuff works. And I don't think they want that. I do not. Would you say, Bell, earlier, the Tomahawk,
995 miles is the range of a conventionally armed Tomahawk.
So they'll be able to reach some areas. They will. So we'll get some of this a little bit later. So they're all there today. Looks like it's going to be good lunch. Everybody looks happy. Rubio's excited because he can't wait to go in there and take over, Venezuela.
Well, look at his face, man. He is not, they're going to install him as temporary leader.
No, of course.
Rubio's like, I got another job. Great.
Nothing else to do. He is too, by the way. He is. Rubio is the architect behind this whole thing with Maduro. There's no doubt. You got to think about this. South Florida is full of Cubans and is full of Venezuelans who have all escaped some sort of nightmare over the last 50 years. And
isn't it weird how people are always fleeing socialist countries to come here? It's not the other way around.
Yeah, nobody's breaking into their country.
Yeah. Nobody's building rafts out of garbage to get to Cuba.
No. Yeah, when's the last time somebody was swimming back the other way? I left my shoes.
And then their leaders are always under constant threat of assassination.
Always. I wonder why. Because, because what they try to do is appease the minions, the many who are poor, just enough to keep them poor but keep them alive. And
keep them dependent.
And that's you're their junk dealer, if you will.
Yeah.
Use a drug term, junk dealer.
Junk, man.
Man, it's all about junk. And so what ends up happening? There's always going to be more people that are have-nots, if you will, than the haves. And all you need in a socialist world, everybody who's designed socialism and communism, they want to live above it. They never want to live in it. I mean, Pol Pot was a little different because he also lived in the jungle. But he was awful. He was horrible.
Yeah, he never met a person he didn't want to kill.
Nope. Oh, you like paintings? You can read? We're going to have to kill you, right? We don't want anybody who's smart. So but they all want to live above it. Because it's an experiment. It is. China, it's funny. China is, everybody's like, they're not a communist country. China is not. Communist Party is what they have. They're a bit of authoritarian, but they're a full capitalistic country. Because they recognize they would never have survived without capitalism.
Well, cronyistic because the government's got its finger in everything.
But still, their whole thing, they now let you become, if you want to be a billionaire, you can become a billionaire.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. I mean, you go look at, Ma and all these guys. They're fine with that. The CCP wants to run the world. They want to do their thing. But you are also a part of this. And when I see people get like Mondani, who is, he's going to win. He's up by 21. They had that debate last night. He's first of all, man, Cuomo standing there, whether or not you like Mondani or not, if you know anything about the guy, it was always like, dude, how do you have any integrity? You sent old people with COVID back to old people who didn't have COVID, and then you lied about it. You knew what was going on. That's not, I don't care what kind of experience, he said, I don't care what kind of experience you had. It doesn't overcome that. And so, but he's speaking to a lot of young people out there because they're frustrated and they're angry. I get it. And if you don't think the Gen Z world is doing something, go look at Madagascar. Go look what's happening in South America, especially Peru and several other places, because they're frustrated, they're broke, They see the haves getting further away from them, and even here, our generation, our kids aren't going to live as good as us. They're not going to be better. I mean, is that the goal?
If we could just get a little more government, that would fix it.
No. Can we get a little more government? But we can't even get them to work, for God's sakes.
Ain't that the truth? Even when it's not shut down, they don't want to work.
I mean, nothing's really outside of paychecks. What else has changed? Not a lot. But when you look at somebody like China, I see why. If I'm 20, 25, can you not see the appeal? Young kids don't. The younger generation hasn't grown up in the Cold War. Didn't grow up, with the liberty and learning about the Constitution and the love of the country the way that we have. That stuff has gotten further and further away. It's not they don't care about the country, but they don't recognize how important free speech is in some of these things. They look over at China and they go, they all have health care. Everybody seems to have a job. They all seem to have, a house. And they build stuff in 5 minutes, and we can't even fix the potholes.
And they never had to watch what happened when Czechoslovakia was brutally put down by Russia or by the Soviet Union, or what happened when Lech Walesa was leading the unions against the Polish government.
Yeah. I mean, they never had to go through it. It's like the same thing when we talk about Israel and Hamas. They talk about the Holocaust. The younger generation doesn't. That's not on their radar. They don't understand. That's something that's far away. It's a book thing. That's your dad's, your mom's, your grandma and grandpa. That's that generation. This younger generation doesn't understand that.
And there's also a section of the population now that they're adults and they weren't alive when 9/11 happened.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't like that.
So to them, that's something that happened. That's before they existed.
Can we all just say we don't like that? We kind of don't. It's like one of those weird things where you don't, when you talk to a kid. Like we were at a meeting today. So Belle and I go to this meeting today, and our fearless leader, Allison, puts it on. And she said, she played something from Any Given Sunday. And she goes, we had some young people that are work here that were in there, and they had no idea who, was it Robert De Niro was?
Or Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. They had no idea who
she was playing the one of the speeches, the pep talks that the coach gives, that Al Pacino played, and there were people in the room that looked at her like, who is this old guy?
Because you know what? When I was young, I knew who Betty Davis was.
Right.
I knew who, you go back and look at the old stars, Errol Flynn, for God's sakes. I knew who Rock Hudson was. We all knew who they were. They don't even know anything. And it's not like Pacino and these guys are dead, or who died? Was it not Robert Redford, but Robert Redford died.
Yeah.
And who was it? Jackson said, I don't know who Robert Redford is. What?
Well, even when we were kids, we knew exactly who Charlie Chaplin was, Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
All those famous guys that came out of vaudeville to start the movie industry.
Yeah. 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 Like, I knew who Cecil B. DeMille is. And it wasn't just because I went to his school when I was a kid. I went to DeMille. It was one of my junior highs. That's how cool that's how cool. Could you tell what kind of area you live in Los Angeles when everything's named after, like, DeMille? You're like, DeMille? Who's DeMille? Hey, guy who created the movie industry. Yes, eh?
Oh, yes.
Yes. See, we had one of our rivals was C.W. Fields.
Awesome.
It was so cool. I'm like, so when we go play there, is it C.W. Fields? Yeah, see? I can't wait to go over to Fatty Arbuckle's house. We knew who these people were. I'm surprised that you know what it is? Their pop culture is whatever's in front of them right now.
6499 texted in that this is a really good point. Young kids don't remember the gas shortages in the 70s.
No, they don't.
You complain about how expensive gas is now. Imagine not being able to buy any at all.
Yeah, there is. I remember it's like, Mom's like, it's Wednesday and we have an even number so we can go to the gas station. Because that's the way it was. Like a day, you had to have even numbers, odd numbers.
Wow.
Remember that?
See, fortunately, we lived in Texas where there was plenty of gas.
Such braggadocious.
Yeah.
You know what? We had trees. The trees had gas in it. We'd just go over to one of the gas trees and just put it right in our car. It was a nickel. It was a nickel. Oh, goodness me. Well, we're going to have more gas soon when we take over Venezuela.
Yeah, they were drinking it. It was so possible.
Yeah, it was so
popular.
It was so
you got so
popular
much
back
gas
in
in Texas, it's just like drink it.
Right from the hose.
That's it. We go 12 packs of gas was a nickel. Was a wooden penny.
And there was no age limit on it. You could go buy it if you were 7.
Yeah. Well, every one of you listening probably ran some errands for your dad. You're like, hey, Chad, give me a pack of smokes. Okay.
Yeah.
You know how many times I went and got a pack of smokes from the guy down the street who never once even asked? I'm like 12 and 11.
Sure.
You're Spencer, son. Where's my bumper? He would yell at me because my dad was fixing his bumper. He'd always say that. And I go down there and I get smokes from my dad. I'm like, now I look back on it. Are you kidding me?
And if they were really strict about it, they would just ask you to bring a note from your parents who you were picking up.
If. So, and food stamps were stamps. You know, like that was true. That was true. Not
Literal
a card.
stamps.
Yeah, they were real stamps.
Yeah, what were those S&H green stamps?
Yep.
Remember those?
Yep, green stamps. Somebody just said that. So, and TV, they don't understand TV either. I'm like...
TV?
Yeah, like kids, they had no idea. Like we had like 6 channels and we had to have... Well, how'd you change the channel? I was the changer.
Yeah.
My dad would say, go change the channel. And then I would change it, and then it would come in fuzzy, and I'd have to stand there for 3 minutes and move the ears around, the little antennas, until it got right.
We had ABC, CBS, and NBC here, plus the PBS station. And then when Channel 17 came on, that was a huge deal.
Oh, really?
That was a huge deal. It was big. Finally had a UHF frequency. And that became the fifth TV station in Nashville.
That was I remember. I mean, just again, these kids don't remember that stuff. Like we joke about 6'7", you know, earlier. If you guys didn't hear, that's like the new slang saying 6'7". Nobody knows what it really means, but it means whatever you want it to mean. But we, you know, like trying to explain. My little daughter, she has an iPad and she's got all this stuff, and they don't know any. They've grown up only with the internet, only with this, you know, culture of video games. Trying to explain to my kids what video games were back in my day. So wait. You had to go somewhere. It cost $0.25.
Yeah.
And it was crudely drawn pictures of things that were fighting with each other. Missile Command was black and white, and it was basically Centipede. They just turned the colors off.
3618 texted in, TV turned off at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah.
You got to watch a test pattern until 5 a.m.
They would play the national anthem.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got cable, and I remember there was 2 cables. There was On TV and Select TV. And Jack and I had a question about this one day. He goes, what's On TV? I said, it was cable. How many channels? I said, it was 1 channel. You would go and you would turn it on, and then it would just have movies.
Yeah, I think the first time we had cable, I want to say it was 74 or 75, and we had 13 channels.
Oh, we didn't get
We
cable.
thought that was a big deal, boy.
Yeah.
We didn't get cable until the early 80s. And I remember bugging my mother to death to get HBO because they were going to play ABBA the movie.
Oh, really?
And my mother did it.
See, I don't think HBO was out whenever we first got cable.
No,
It probably wasn't if it was that early.
I got to look that up.
It was crazy. And I don't think people we were so lucky though, you know, and this is the one thing my kids say all the time is you guys got to live a life though, where it was pre the internet. The phone, your mom would call around to find out where you were because she knew everybody. And you would find your friends when you were riding down the street and the 12 bikes were in front of your other friend's house.
Yep.
And it was on. And it was, don't come home until the lights come on. It was a different world. And I don't envy the kids today because the pressure, the stuff they got is neat, but the pressure's incredible.
Yep.
And the fact that they don't know any pop culture. God's sakes. All right, coming up, government shutdown coming soon. We got some Finally Friday sounds, a bunch of other stuff still to get to. Yeah, we are going to go into Venezuela. And at least I think we are. Well, by that, I don't even know. We're going to just shoot a bunch of stuff over there. We're just hoping somebody takes him up on the $50 million he's here. If you want to know where Maduro is, he's in the castle. Go get him. Give me my $50 million. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Our buddy Tammy, she emailed the show, and she says, I think Trump's wearing a pink tie today because breast cancer awareness. It's that month.
Yeah, that could be.
That could be. It absolutely could be. No doubt about that. You know, who doesn't like breast cancer? I mean, everybody, but who doesn't like breast? Guys, Trump, pink tie, maybe. Who was the? Wasn't one of the guys from Kiss had breast cancer, right?
Peter Criss, the drummer.
People don't realize men get it, and it's far deadlier for men because they don't recognize that they have it, because everybody only thinks that women can get it, and it's really deadly for men. Really deadly. So no Kings this weekend. That's what this no Kings week. They're going to go, and there's going to be no Kings anywhere. So don't even think it. Not even the Latin Kings are allowed to show up at this. So this is going to be across the country, including here.
Kings protests are planned for Saturday. It's a follow-up to No Kings protests that were held in June. Organizers are predicting millions will take part nationwide this weekend. They say the protests are in response to an abuse of power by President Trump, including the immigration crackdown. Here in California, there will be protests as Vice President J.D. Vance is at Camp Pendleton to watch a live fire demonstration in honor of the Marine Corps' 250th anniversary.
I don't know how many people are going to show up this time. Do we know where it's at tomorrow exactly?
Here in Nashville, it's at the state capitol starting at 10.
Okay, cool. Because I might head down there for a little bit just to get a feel. Take Charlie and go look at everything. Say, look, this is the beauty of our country, hon. These people are, some of them are. Here's the thing. Do I understand that I was watching Ezra Levin, I think is the guy. He's the guy that's kind of put everything together. He said, Trump's not the enemy. He goes, some of these people, they're opponents at time. He goes, but it's not about Trump. It's about a lot of things, including the oligarchs, the amount of power that certain groups have been able to coalesce and run with. I can understand that. You hear Bell and I talk about it all the time, the Palantirs of the world and all of these people that have just entrenched themselves corporate-wise into politics, and they're getting richer and richer, and their power is growing. I have a concern about that. I don't mind them getting richer and richer. Their power, though, of which they're growing and how they're getting richer and richer through the government, that's my issue I have. We should all have that issue. And on their website, they also have their fear is that they're going to be attacked tomorrow. Oh, somewhere it's going to go sideways, right? You got to figure somewhere it's going to get a little sideways. Not Portland, though, if they're all naked. What's the weather like in Portland, too? That's the other thing. If it's going to be rainy, maybe not. Speaking of rain, Ken, are we going to have a severe weather this weekend?
There's a chance for it. Very low level, but there is a chance for it.
Okay. We need to know this because we said this earlier. We started getting text messages. You guys around this weekend? I'm like, wants to know. What do you got going on?
Who's this?
Yeah. Well, there could be some severe weather. Well, okay, I need to know that. I need to know if there's some severe weather. Are we going to be around? Yes, I will be here. So just know this. If there is some, would it be Sunday? Or?
It's going to be Saturday night starting at 10 to Sunday morning, 3 a.m. That is the window right now.
Yeah. I should be awake. We'll see. What about Short King? I don't know if Short King will be there. He's the Short King. Oh, my Lord. I don't, I know they're itching for something, and I saw somebody today say that they think that, that Trump wants them to do something crazy so he can declare an insurrection. And I think it's going to be much ado about nothing, and people walking around, some people mad and angry at Trump or anybody on the right, other people who want to wear a chicken suit and jump around, people want to ride naked on their bikes. And some people are just there for the spectacle. I go for the spectacle. I stay for the violence, but I go for the spectacle.
Especially in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, God.
Although I may not want to see some of it.
No. And it's the same thing when you go to like Berkeley. Berkeley, there's never not.
There's always a protest there, isn't there?
Always. Berkeley and Portland. That's what I always try to tell everybody. You want to know what the crazy liberal world is? You think that it's some of these people here. There are places where you have no idea how crazy it is. I remember when I lived in Texas, Austin, Austin's pretty progressive. It's kind of like Berkeley. I said, it's nothing like Berkeley because people have their clothes on.
Right.
And they're not, and they'll protest anything at any given time. They walk around with those signs where they could just wipe the signs off and start writing on them immediately. I'm mad about this today. I'm mad about that. Meanwhile, today, Zelensky hanging out in the office with Trump. Oh, the excitement. He might get tomahawks.
To be determined, but I would say most likely it's going to be a double meeting. It'll be a double meeting, but we will have the president, Zelensky, in touch. There's a lot of bad blood.
Yeah, there is. Zelensky would love to be in the same room with Putin, which is crazy because I would never want that. Even to meet him. I couldn't even imagine. Like when Tucker went and interviewed him, I'm like, man, be careful. People have a tendency to fall out of windows and shake his hand and die. But the fact is Trump has given the Putin another opportunity. We'll see how real it is. I think he's going to go into this thing much more cautious. And it's 2 weeks away, too. 2 weeks in a life of a normal president, that's a short time. 2 weeks in the life of Donald Trump's presidency is a lifetime. Because between now and Monday, 70 things will happen. And it's the same thing with, the battle with him in China. We'll talk about that a little later. China they're not going anywhere when it comes to this trade thing.
We inherited this, and we'd like to see if we could finish it, end it. We want it ended. So many people have died in this war.
Yeah, it is an ugly war. And when you've got 60-year-olds and pregnant women fighting, you're fighting for survival, too. The reason that Ukraine has held on for so long, you fight a different way when you're fighting for your survival as a nation. And the fact that we've given them so many weapons that are so much more advanced than anything that the not primitive, but semi-ish primitive version of what Russia has.
You think the general that told Putin it would take 3 days to take over Ukraine still has his job?
No, I don't. I think that person has
probably gone.
Has left the building, and by the building, I meant Earth. Because, when he gets mad, they send you to the front line. That's not a place you want to be. You're not longed for there if you're going to the front line. I mean, at all. So, no, I don't think so. But if we wouldn't have helped them out, if we wouldn't have done so much, yeah, there was a good chance it could have lasted 3 or 4 or 5 days. I think a lot of people thought it was. But they held strong. And the other thing is Russia's army, he didn't use his military. He used his conscripts, and he used people that were, new. He wasn't using the Spetsnaz and all the big baddies he's got. And the stuff that he did have, those oligarchs, they would get that money. They would go and they would do what? They would buy a tank or create a tank for a couple $1,000,000 and take $20 million for every, it cost $22 million. And you found out they're made of cardboard. And the other thing that I think doesn't get covered enough in this, as horrible as it is how adaptive the Ukrainians have been with the drones and so much of that stuff. They learned to fight in a guerrilla way much faster than I think people realized. They would get drones and they were like, we don't need this crap. They'd take it off. They'd order stuff on Amazon, and they would build makeshift stuff that they knew was really guerrilla warfare like, and that's why they were so good. So we'll see if they can get them in the same room. I don't know if they can. I think Putin has pretty much said no, but you never know with Trump. Twist an arm enough. In the next 2 weeks, this thing could be solved. Just think about this. In 2 weeks, he could put to bed the nightmare in Gaza and Israel and Russia, Ukraine. Or 2 weeks from now, Russia and Ukraine could still be killing each other and the bombs are getting bigger and Israel and them could be back up and fighting, which at some point will happen. But how long does that continue? We shall see. We shall see. We got some cool stuff still to come to. I didn't even get. Man, there's so much stuff out there I didn't get to today already. I was like, God, this thing's flying fast. It's flying fast. Some of you going to go to the No Kings tomorrow? I didn't realize somebody was arrested here for. They say a Proud Boy was arrested here last time for pulling a gun on somebody. I went to the No Kings and.
I don't know if it was a Proud Boy, but somebody was arrested.
Yeah, that's what somebody said.
I think that was in Murfreesboro, actually. No. Well, now I got to look.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I just remember when I went out, I tried to talk. There were several people that talked to me, but a lot that wouldn't. Or we'd be in a nice conversation, and then somebody, usually a Karen, she drives a Subaru or something like that. She comes over and starts yelling at me like I was doing anything. Well, why are you here? Because I want to talk to people. How do you... You have to be able to have conversations with people to find out where they're coming from.
Yeah, it was 19-year-old Elijah Miller of Murfreesboro taken into custody by Metro Nashville police. Charged with disorderly conduct for brandishing a handgun at the No Kings rally here in Nashville.
Was he mad at the No King people, or was he a No King people?
It doesn't say. They say he's a counter protester.
Okay, so he's a yay for Kings.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
He's a Kings are all right. Yeah, go Kings. What? Coming up, got some interesting thing. We were talking about soccer earlier. I want to talk about what's going on in England this week. There's a European Soccer Championship games are kicking off. One team has done some in England that everybody's going, what? What? How are you allowed to do this? Talk about that, among other things. Reach out to us across all of our social media. Guys, go like and subscribe our YouTube, right? TN YouTube. You can like and subscribe mine at Chad Benson Show. Follow us everywhere and make sure you participate in the chat and everything like that. We'll get over there in a minute to YouTube, and you can always text the program. Bell, tell everybody how they text.
615-737-9986.
There you go. You can do all of those things and more. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. So we got Messi in town, soccer tonight. Lionel Messi.
Yeah, it's a big sports weekend in Nashville.
It is. It's a huge sports weekend in Nashville.
We
so you started off with maybe the greatest player of all time in town in Nashville.
Yeah, former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel bringing the 4-2 Patriots to town.
Patriots look good.
Patriots look good, and Vrabel smells blood in the water.
They do. They do.
And I mean, he does not take kindly to getting let go.
No, he does not. And I don't think he was thrilled by the way his buddy was treated either.
Right.
I don't think so. And his buddy's dad, by the way. When they fired Callahan, they're like, oh, his dad still works there. It's got to fire him too.
And then Vandy is hosting the mighty Bayou Bengals of LSU.
Ooh, Swamp Kitties.
And Vandy's favored to win.
That's so crazy.
Anchor down, baby. Anchor down.
That is so crazy. They're favored to win. Was that stadium going to finish next year?
I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't hold a lot. When you go and look, the Bayou Bengals, what does that hold? That place holds, what, 100
that's
grand?
like 105, something like that.
I mean, you're playing at 70, 80,000, 100,000 seats. That Vandy doesn't hold, what's it hold, 35 maybe? 40?
I got to see.
And right now, with them working on it, I doubt it even holds that. And most of the time, at least up until last year, most of the fans there were there from other teams.
40,000.
40,000. Woo! Wonder how many LSU fans will travel. Because, Vandy's decent now. Even last year when they beat Alabama, half the crowd was Alabama.
Yeah, Vandy's, they're good, man.
They are. They're good. They're good.
Diego Pavia, that quarterback, man.
He's you know what he is? He's a leader.
He's a leader. He absolutely is.
He's a leader. He wants to win. He's a leader. People will follow him. That's why he gets, it's weird to say, that's why he gets paid decent money.
Yeah.
In college. That's why he plays decent money. Maccabi Tel Aviv soccer team playing in the European Soccer Championships because, yes, the Israelis are part of the European, which is weird. I know a lot of people think. Aston Villa, English team, has told them their fans cannot come to the game. You're not welcomed here. And people are like, why? They said because the fear is, if you guys know anything about Birmingham is a very, very Muslimish area. They're worried there would be clashes. They're worried there may be fights. It's undue pressure for the police that they don't need. It's about protecting the fans. It has nothing to do with, everybody's like, it's because they don't hate the Jews. No, they're just like, they're looking around and saying, we don't want this. This is too much. And the British are saying, no, Keir Starmer's like, you got to let him come. And they're like, well, you pay for it then. But there's other fans here, and we don't want anybody hurt. So we will see. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. A little bit about Venezuela, some other stuff going on as well, including Russia, Zelensky in the White House, among other things. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.